Hey guys, Such a Warmonger here, and you're watching 3 versus 3 Siege of Jerusalem. This is a player versus player, attackers versus defenders map. The attackers start on the northwest side, and I'll show this on OBS. Game capture age. So the attackers start on the northwest side over here, and the defenders start inside the city. Now the objective of the attackers is for 45 units from one of the attackers to hold inside this Dome of the Rock area for 45 seconds straight. So that's for most of the game, except for the last minute of the game. It becomes sudden death. So if in the last minute 45 units from one attacker is in this Dome of the Rock area, it's instant win. Now the defenders just have to hold for 45 minutes. So they can't let an attacker hang out here for 45 seconds straight with 45 units. That's the game. Now let's look at what's going on, because there's already some action. Let's do it from the defender's perspective. If you haven't noticed, when we were in game, you could see that the lighting mood was different. That's because it simulates a whole day of battle. So for the first few minutes, actually it starts out with nighttime, and then it transitions to winter time, which simulates the morning, early morning, and then it translates to a normal mood, and then to a desert mood that represents the afternoon, and then to an autumn mood, which represents the sunset for the last 5 minutes, and then back to a night mood for the last minute of the game, or sudden death. Okay. Now, both sides have an incentive to fight over these relics over here. There are monasteries on both sides are equidistant. So the defenders have more of an incentive to fight over it, because every player starts with 40,000 wood, food, and gold. But the attackers get a stipend every 3 minutes of 1,500 wood, food, and gold, while the defenders don't get anything. So it's really on the defenders to try and get this, and the attackers to try to deny it. Now, I was playing as the Bulgarians. I was player 1. And then, if you look at it from our perspective, we have our merchant spies. Every attacker starts with a merchant spy, and they have really high pierce armor and high vision range. So everybody also starts with, and that's both attackers and defenders start with mercenary scouts, and they have good sight range, and they're also very fast. The fastest unit in the game at 1.65 speed, and they are over, at least the defender mercenary scouts start over here. Let's go back to the battle. Okay, we took down St. Stephen's Gate, also known as Damascus Gate. Looks like the defenders have made a good sally, trying to kill trebuchets. This one's surrounded by Vills, which makes it harder to reach. For such a big sally, they're not really getting that many traps. Oh, actually, they've got 2. Let's see if this one goes down too. Yeah, it looks like they only got 2, so I'm not sure that was worth it. The low ground of the moat is not a good place to fight. So all these guys are dying. So look, these barricades, they're the same size as a house at 2x2 tiles. And close to the same amount of HP, but not as much building armor. They're built by the Vills. So Defender Vills can only make barricades. That's all they're good for. Of course, they can also chop wood around the map if they wanted to. That's really what they're good for, is building barricades. So you shouldn't make too many of them. Now, as the attacker, player 1 Bulgarians, I sent Rams and to the south, which they don't notice, and to the northeast. So this is the gate of Jehoshaphat, and this is the gate, the Zion gate. So, a ping. Defenders, everybody gets a ping showing if any of the main gates get destroyed. All of the attackers start with 220 population, and the defenders start with only 200 population. The attackers, all of their buildings and stuff are protected by this desert. Anything that crosses this line gets killed, even onager and trebuchet shots. But the defender stuff, everything from the defenders is vulnerable. So defenders are able to weaken them. So there's an incentive for the defenders to protect all of their production buildings and everything. Because, for example, the defenders only have 200 population, but there's 20 population in 4 tents. This little tent clump over here. So they're about to lose this tent clump, which means they're only going to have 180 population to fight with once it's lost. So defenders should really try to protect all of their stuff. See? It goes down. There's another tent clump on the northwest over here. That's a little more protected. That's another 20 population. And then there's 40 population in 2 castles over here. It's called the Tower of David. It's the hardest point to attack. And then there's another 20 population in 2 tents and 2 town centers over here in the center. Now even more tents are going down. I don't even know how that got through. Actually, it looks like they broke this tower over here. I didn't notice that. So that was a good attack from Green. He's playing as the Mongols. Nothing has changed with Mongols in this game as a civilization. Completely the same. Have no difference at all. As the Orange Bulgarians, player 1, there is a difference. For example, archers, they've been made as powerful as arbalests, albeit with a slower arcing projectile. That's it. So they have the same health, same range, same damage as arbalests. And also for the Bulgarians, the damage of trebuchets on stone defenses, so like walls, towers, and castles and gates, has been doubled for Bulgarians. This is because the Bulgarians have been renamed to the Armenians, which historically have been good at siegecraft and helped the Crusaders in a few battles. This is Tancred's Tower. It's under attack. Now, you can see that when the trebuchets are firing, it's taking them forever to do any kind of damage. That's because all of the outer walls, so these walls over here, have been given extra building armor and also 20,000 HP. And then the same thing for outer towers like this and posterns like this. Also 20,000 HP and 20,000 building armor. And this is controlled by the defending players because it's a postern, and that's so that you can ferry infantry and archers between the walls. There's another postern here. So that's the postern of the Magdalene, and this is the postern of St. Ladre. There's one more player-controlled postern down south over here. This is the postern of the Tanners. If there's stuff going on around here, you can emergency ferry infantry and archers out that way. So, you notice that once this postern went down, you immediately lost a lot of vision. And then you can see that this wall doesn't provide vision either for the defenders, because almost all the buildings in this whole map are controlled by Gaia. So the walls don't provide weird supernatural vision. Is how I designed this. Oh, here comes a good shot. Oh. Oh, there's another good shot. Good lord. And there's another good shot. Ouch. So that's how the map was designed. So these walls don't provide vision. So as the defenders lose towers and allied castles, so that these castles and towers are controlled by the AI, and they're hostile to attackers. So as you lose them, as the defenders lose more and more of these towers and castles, the less vision they have of their territory, which is the city, basically. And here comes like a stream of dying ants. Right. And this battle has been raging forever. Player 2, yellow, is playing as Magyars, which have been renamed to Hungarians. Nothing has changed with this civ also. They're completely the same. Unchanged as well. Now, player 4, well, this is player 5, red. He's playing as the Bohemians. Now, these guys have 10 pierce armor. And because they're called Pavis swordsmen. They have 10 pierce armor, a bonus attack versus archers, and not only that, they also have an area of effect attack. They're pretty tough bastards. They are as slow as a Teutonic Knight, though. So there's no gunpowder in this whole game. There's no gunpowder. So that's why the Bohemians had to be changed. And then these guys that just died, they look like Genoese crossbowmen, but they're called Pavis crossbowmen. They also have 8 pierce armor, which is as much as a skirmisher. And longer range also. So that's those are the changes made to the Bohemian civ. Player 6 is playing as Italians. Nothing's changed with the Italians. So no difference. Okay. Looks like I was thinking of running in. I don't know. I didn't notice these guys getting stuck here. Really did not notice that. I'm trying to do a run-in as the Bulgarians. Now, player 4, what's he playing as? That Condottiero. Oh, he's Burgundians, looks like. Didn't even realize that. He has Flemish militia. They're another sort of gunpowder civ, so there were changes made to them, but not anything crazy. With gunpowder being removed, their crossbowmen have been made viable with extra damage and I think extra range, I don't remember. But also their onagers Onager range has also been increased. I don't remember if it's the same range as Korean Onagers now, but they're not Siege Onagers, they're just regular Onagers with better range. So that's the change with the Burgundians. So I'm really trying to run in and then start messing with their population. Flemish militia are really good. So I figured, you know, Burgundians, they have been nerfed without their hand cannoneers and their bombard cannons, but they're still viable. See, instantly lost a lot of vision when this tower went down. That tower went down super fast because it's only got 1,000 HP because it only represents like a prayer tower, a minaret, what it's called. That's another minaret. So the defenders have lost a lot of towers and gates here. Now remember earlier when I sent rams to take these out, these gates, because of all, even though they have 20,000 HP, they do not have the extra building armor. So that makes rams viable against them. Which is how I made this as realistic as I could. Because rams are not really supposed to be used for walls. At least during this time. I know in the ancient times you had like rams that were battering walls down. But here it was more for gates. Like the front gates. I don't know why he killed that house, but he's gonna kill this one now. And boom, a lot of vision lost again. The defenders a little bit on the back foot. Lost 20 pop here, lost another 20 pop here. So they are only fighting at 160 pop capacity. Burgundians trying to make a flank. This is not the most successful flank against the Magyar Hungarians. Oh, the Hungarians have been, I mean the Bulgarians have been renamed to Austrians. So their Costiliers have been renamed to Imperial Knights. Oh no, that's the Lithuanians. Okay. I think the Burgundians have the same name actually. My bad. Here comes another failed flank. Now, Tancred's Tower. This is Tancred's Tower. 20,000 HP. Went down. That's why it's so hard to take this out, but usually, well not usually, but like a lot of the time when I've seen this go down, that's a huge blow to the defenders. Because for a lot of civs, the unique unit's very powerful. Here goes the Pavis Swordsman. Just wanted to finish this off, take another 5 population away. So far, the attackers are doing well. Oh, here's a difference for the Mongols, is Mongols can train Eastern Swordsmen. They have the same stats as Long Swordsmen, except they don't have the extra bonus versus buildings. And they're cheaper. So they're kind of like a swarm Zergling unit, you know? Just because they train fast too, they train very fast. So they're great to just send in as cannon fodder. I thought I would be content in killing units, trying to get a better KD, kill death ratio, especially with Red having his rally point to not fighting back. So I thought, well, I'm just eating up their units, so it's fine. Meanwhile, Yellow is starting to open up, actually just kill units. There was a weird bug in this game where the defenders couldn't see pings or didn't get I'm under attack notifications when their buildings were under attack. So that kind of messed with this game a little bit. So they didn't realize the Siege Workshop was under attack, they didn't realize tents were under attack, or the gates, like these gates. That's unfortunate. Now here's where I should have just killed one of the tents at least. That's probably a mistake I made. Then again, I wanted to take out even more vision with these newly strengthened archers with the power of an Arbalester. And instant vision taken away. The defenders, I mean, the attackers can also make villagers, and the villagers, same as the defenders, they can't build any production buildings, they can't build anything except for palisade walls this time. Palisade walls, fortified palisade walls, and outposts, but they have to buy the stone to make the outposts. I'm starting to make a move on their more of their population. You can see the slower archer projectile making a difference there. You see how slow it is to catch up. Now the defenders in the middle of the game, and this is something I didn't mention. Remember how I said they don't get extra resources? In the middle of the game, Caravan appears right here, and you can see that it appeared with a bunch of really strong units, camel archers, all of that. And what the defenders need to do to get extra money is to get their trade cart into the Dome of Rock. So each trade cart that makes it, the Dome of Rock gives an extra 2,000 resource, wood, food, and gold to all defenders. So that's 2,000 just now, and then another 2,000 is about to happen. There's another 2,000. See? So, and then there would have been a third trade cart, because, you know, each player gets one trade cart. So a total of 6,000 extra wood, food, and gold for the defenders if they're able to do that. So even though the defenders weren't able to get the relics, looks like they got one relic. If they're able to get the trade carts in, that's much needed resources on the part of the defenders. You can see how powerful this caravan is. It's got camel archers. It had the cataphracts. They had steppe lancers. It had imperial camel, heavy camel, rider, cavalry archers. So it's a pretty beefy caravan to try to protect the trade carts. So you can't just send like a few units to try to kill those trade carts. You need to dedicate a good amount of stuff. So the battle's raging now, you can see. Some good onager shots here. Oh. Okay. Meanwhile, taking out some buildings. Now this is a capture age error. I'm pretty sure these town centers are all gone. And the tents are gone too, but the capture age still shows them. That was a good onager shot. Something to note with Siege is that all Siege equipment is built in the Siege workshop, including trebuchets. So that's for attackers and defenders. And not only that, defenders cannot make rams and cannot make siege towers. So defenders can only make trebuchets and these things. Trebuchets, scorpions, and onagers. Also, it takes longer to amass onagers, and it takes longer to amass scorpions, and it takes longer to amass trebuchets. Rams have the same training speed, and siege towers are really easy and fast to train. And I've also made siege towers much cheaper, so they're more viable in this map. Well, not much cheaper, just cheaper. Looks like Red left his mercenary scout here, which is accidentally a good move, because he has scouted this massive battering rams. Looks like Green's just up to shenanigans. I think Green feels like we're definitely gonna win this, so he just wants to end it in a flashy, cool, fun style. That's probably what he's thinking. Here come the Rams. See how this goes. So remember what I said about gates. They don't have the extra building armor, so Rams are still very good against them. Even with 20,000, it's going relatively quick to how much HP it has. Blue is trying to see what's out here. Not gonna do much. Now the inner gates, these inner gates, these Temple Mount gates, they have not changed. So they are the same HP as whatever the red player civ is. So stronger if they're Byzantines, weaker if they're something else, that kind of thing. The green is up to shenanigans, just taking out these towers. Not sure how useful that is. Especially since it doesn't look like there's a large army amassing on this side. While this area is still secured, so the defenders are starting to eat up attacker time, which is good for the defenders. And the yellow player is taking a bit too long to push this side. This is a scary sight in terms of fighting ranged units, because remember what I said about Pavi's swordsmen, they have a splash damage, bonus against archers, and high pierce armor, so they're an archer's nightmare. Except for the fact that they're super slow like a Teutonic Knight. So, looks like this is another capture age glitch. There actually is a hole over here. So now the attackers are really bogged down. They're bogged down. This is not good. Giving the defenders too much time to think about how to defend and slow the attackers down and make these sallies which kill more and more trebuchets. This has these trebuchets are super precious because they're very hard to amass with only one siege workshop per player. That's all players, so the trebuchets are longer to build, so These are very important to keep alive. Super precious. Green destroying a 20,000 HP with just regular units. Brute force. Not the best decision, I don't think. Green, I'm coming over here to try to finish these siege workshops. Now these onagers, only we could have found a way to easily kill them. Fortunately, without gunpowder, the only counter to onagers really are other onagers and trebuchets. So look how much the defenders can't see. All of these towers have been taken down, so we don't know, I mean not we, but the defenders don't know what's out here. Now, I'm not sure what this is about. This isn't the best decision from Green's point of view. Not sure what that was for. Maybe he just figured a lot of these are almost dead, so why not finish them off? This is a better attack. This champion's bonus damage versus buildings, so it's one more siege workshop down. Yellow probably didn't realize there were even more onagers over here, so that wasn't the best trade. But since the battle is just in a smaller scale, let's switch over to the in-game point of view. Let's look at the economy. So resources. Phantom, so green, is out of gold. Which I asked if anybody needed gold. It's unfortunate that he didn't answer the question properly. So we could have given him resources to attack. He needed food and he needed gold, so that's unfortunate. Both Mountain and I have managed our resources well, so we have plenty of resources to fight with. Now I thought I could take this fight because I know that once these guys die, they turn into like longswordsmen, which rape pikemen. As far as the defenders go, they have balanced their resources pretty well. I think it's because they kept their markets, so they must be sharing resources pretty well. So it's not looking good for the attackers. Now in game there will be like a timer over here to show you how much time is left before the defenders win. Skirmishers were a good choice. See, range is not good against the defenders right now, I don't think. Because especially with the Pavis crossbowman. Although I'm not sure why red... Let's look at his population. The red is at... Oh, he's full. And blue is using up his population to fight. Probably just to buy time. Which is probably the right decision. I tried to reroute to attacking their production to try to lower the increase the pressure and then take pressure away from this area. But the defenders, being smart, know that they can't just abandon this area. So they still send men to fight for it. You can see they're all fighting with 140 population because we haven't taken these castles down. And honestly, I don't think we... Yeah, I think it's the right decision on the attacker's part to not take the castles down, especially with so little time left. Mountain coming in here and killing this is the right choice, I think. So now we've put the pressure on, try to end the game, basically. If we can completely wipe this area out, then it basically, the defenders can't make their super effective, you know, upgraded crossbowmen. You see how these are a little better than they used to be? For the Burgundians, at least. Makes the crossbowmen viable. Same with the onagers. That's a... I don't think that's Korean onager range. I don't remember. I think that's regular onager range. Burgundians fighting. Interesting choice to make a bunch of monks. I think it is actually a good counter against siege. Look how they're taking it out, and it's working. Never thought of it that way. Green coming in last minute. Let's look at green for a minute. Where's all this stuff? Okay, he's got stuff here. Not a lot going on there. Looks like we gave him gold, or he received gold. See that tribute came in? Let's go back to Blue's point of view. So they're finally losing a lot of this area, but barracks units aren't as important as the archery ranges. That's why this is placed here strategically as a map maker. You value the ranged units more, a little more. That's why they're a little further back to the right from the usual spot that attackers attack from. But they're also vulnerable to siege towers if you wanted to send like stuff over here. And then the only reason that the stables are over here is because historically this was the royal stables. The underground stables was actually all over here. So that's why the stables are over here. Okay, so this notification where the sun is setting, defenders must hold on till nightfall. You see the mood is changing to autumn. Actually, let's keep the population up and show how much population there is. I'm also having trouble with these Genoese crossbowmen that Blue keeps sending to intercept. Very effective. Because we can't concentrate on this if we're still being attacked from over here, so it's always a good flanking position from the Tower of David. That's causing problems. See, the Costiliers come from the Tower of David too. they're gonna kill more trebuchets. So the defenders are doing a great job keeping us distracted from the main objective, which is trying to take this. Now remember, before the last minute, the attackers need 45 units in the Dome of the Rock for 45 seconds straight. The way that works is there's a trigger after 45 seconds to see if there's still 45 units from that one player, or from any of players, or the attackers, and then they win. But in the last minute, it's an instant death. So if the attackers can get 45 units here, instantly, then the attackers will win. So it's actually the most dangerous time for the defenders is the last minute. That's an interesting mechanic. The battle's really raging. Defenders, red, holding with most of his army, while this might be a strategy, but while gray and blue trying to delay and play for time, which seems to be working. Because anyone who tries to like suddenly run in here with 45 units is just gonna get slaughtered. And blue is really being super annoying with his constant stream of Genoese crossbowmen. Let's see how much money he has. Wood and gold, so plenty to just keep streaming Genoese crossbowmen. So now you're in the game, so you can see the PV swordsman stats. 18 attack, but it's an area of effect attack. Plus bonus damage versus archers. 10 pierce armor. And very slow. Like a Teutonic Knight. So he's the same price as a Teutonic Knight. And the Pavese crossbowman. 8 pierce armor, just like a skirmisher. See? That's a skirmisher, 8 pierce armor. Pavese crossbowman. 8 pierce armor. And yellow came in here to kill a bunch of onagers, which is a very good move, actually. Looks like he only killed 2, even with the bonus damage versus siege. So this notification, this is the last push. Attackers send everything they got, means there's only 3 minutes left in the game before the attackers lose. Hopefully this is a good shot. That is a good shot. It killed a bunch of Pavese crossbowmen. Let's look at the populations. Now I tried to do the same thing, tried to kill more onagers, and I think it's working. So we killed all of the onagers on the north side have died. There's only 4 now, so we're really trying to push in. Now this is the last minute of the game, so you can see that it's transitioning to the nighttime mood. So 45 units inside is an instant win. If he moved inside, that would have been an instant win. Instead of fighting. Unfortunately, he's fighting, so they're just dying. So that's what I'm trying to say. Instant win, go inside, 45 units. So we're losing by seconds here. So if we were able to, like this bunch, I'm not sure if that's 45 units. This bunch of units right here, how many are there? So the defenders won, is basically the name of the game. That's what happened. So that wouldn't have been enough either, actually. The defenders did a great job. The attackers made a mistake by being too relaxed, by like attacking randomly some stuff here. And kind of like slowing down and getting bogged down here, over in this area. And then having too hard of a time dealing with the reinforcements from blue. Blue was a very good player in this game. But yeah, the defenders just held out, even though they lost a lot of stuff here. It was just too little too late for the attackers. So they did a great job. And this is kind of like a lesson to all sides, to everybody. Not sure how else the defenders could have done better. They did a really good job here. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you in the next video.